The sky was burning. From orbit, 1,000 alien ships poured fire into Earth's atmosphere, their weapons lighting the clouds like red veins. Cities vanished in seconds, oceans boiled, and satellites turned to dust. For the first time in history, all human communication went silent. The aliens called themselves the Valkyrie Dominion, ancient, cold, and certain of their superiority. They had conquered hundreds of worlds and erased dozens of species. Humanity was supposed to be their next easy victory, but they didn't understand what kind of creatures humans were. In the ruins of Geneva, deep under the collapsed United Nations bunker, a few survivors gathered around flickering monitors. General Marcus Hale watched as the last defense satellites went dark. His hands trembled not with fear but with fury. "They think we're finished," he said quietly. "They think we'll kneel." Beside him, Dr. Ilara Quinn, a physicist who once led Earth's secret energy research, turned toward him. "Marcus, if we use the project, there's no going back. It could destroy everything." Marcus looked at her. "If we don't use it, there won't be anything left to destroy." Outside, alien troop carriers descended through black smoke. Their scanners showed no large military force, only scattered human survivors. The Valkyrie commanders laughed in their echoing voices, convinced that humanity was already broken. But deep underground, something ancient stirred. The Project Kronos, a weapon humans had built but sworn never to use. It wasn't a bomb. It wasn't even a weapon in the normal sense. It was a machine that could reach into the heart of spacetime, a technology born from desperation and genius. Ilara hesitated before the console. "If I activate it, we can't predict what it will do. The power could tear the planet apart." Marcus stared at the smoke-filled ceiling above them, imagining the billions who had already died. "Then let's give them a reason to fear the dark." She entered the final code. The screen turned white. Far above, alien sensors screamed. A pulse spread from Earth's core like a heartbeat, rippling through the planet and beyond. Every Valkyrie ship suddenly lost contact with its fleet. Energy readings spiked beyond measurable limits. Then everything went quiet. In the silence, Ilara looked up. "Did it fail?" Marcus didn't answer. He was listening to something faint and growing stronger. It was like the sound of a storm, but it came from inside the Earth. In orbit, the Valkyrie flagship, the Harbinger, tried to withdraw. But space itself began to shimmer around the planet. Light bent and twisted. Time stretched. The stars blurred like wet paint, and then humanity changed. All over the world, people who survived the bombardment began to feel it. A pulse in their blood, a new energy that made their bodies tremble. Some could hear whispers, others saw visions of light and movement. The project hadn't destroyed humanity. It had evolved it. Marcus gripped the edge of the control desk as his own veins glowed faintly blue. "What is this?" Ilara looked at her shaking hands. "We've merged with the field. The machine didn't destroy time, it unlocked us." Above them, the Valkyrie ships opened fire again. Beams of plasma struck the atmosphere, but the blasts simply bent away, deflected by an invisible force. The humans on the ground looked up in disbelief as the air shimmered like a shield. Children touched the air and watched sparks dance from their fingers. The aliens panicked. "Their planet resists us," shouted one Valkyrie commander. "Increase output." But it didn't matter. For the first time in history, Earth itself fought back. Marcus stepped outside the bunker into the red glow of a broken world. His uniform was torn, his face blackened by ash. He looked up at the alien ships, tiny silver demons hanging in the sky, and raised his hand. A spark of light formed in his palm. He didn't understand how, but he could feel the ships, every metal hull, every reactor core, every frightened alien mind. The power surged through him like fire, like memory, like vengeance. Ilara's voice came through his headset, shaking with awe. "Marcus, it's you. You're part of it. The field is responding to human will." Marcus smiled, a tired, dangerous smile. "Then let's give them something to fear." He closed his fist. Above him, one of the alien ships exploded without warning, ripped apart by a force no sensor could detect. The shockwave tore across the sky, and for the first time since the invasion began, humans everywhere looked up, not in terror, but in hope. The Valkyrie fleet began to retreat. They didn't understand what they were facing. To them, humanity had always been primitive, chaotic, emotional. Now that chaos had become their greatest weapon, Inside the flagship, panic spread. The Valkyrie commander slammed his clawed hand against the control panel. Impossible. They are only flesh. But even as he spoke, the stars outside the viewport seemed to fade, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. On Earth, Marcus looked at the horizon. The world was burning, but in the ashes, something greater was being born. He whispered to himself, "We were never meant to be conquered." The ground rumbled again, and in the distance a new sound began to rise, a deep, rhythmic hum echoing through the air as if the planet had a heartbeat. Alara's voice trembled over the radio. "Marcus, I think the project is still running. It's changing everything." Marcus turned toward the sound. His eyes glowed faintly with blue fire. "Then we'd better find out what we've become." The screen faded to static, and somewhere in deep space, far beyond the Valkyrie's empire, other alien races listened to the screams of the Dominion's fleet and began to fear the name of humanity. The sky was still red, but now it was different. Fires still burned in cities, smoke twisted into the clouds, yet humans were no longer running. They were standing. They were learning. From orbit, the remnants of the Valkyrie fleet hovered like a swarm of black hornets. The Dominion had not been destroyed, only delayed. But the humans below had changed, and their fearlessness radiated outward in waves of raw power. Marcus Hale led a small group of soldiers across the ruins of Paris. Their boots crunched on broken glass, but their eyes were sharp, glowing faintly with the same blue energy that hummed in the veins of every survivor. Each step seemed to charge the air around them. "They're regrouping," Marcus said, scanning the skies. "And they'll come back stronger." Beside him, Alara Quinn adjusted her equipment. "We don't know how much longer we can hold the field," she said. "The project is still merging with humans, but we're learning too fast. If we push it, we might evolve even more." A child ran past them, laughing, sparks trailing from his fingertips. He looked like a ghost of the world that had been, but alive and unafraid. Humanity had discovered its own heartbeat, a power that no weapon could destroy. Far above Earth, in the shadow of the shattered moon, the Valkyrie High Council convened. The lead commander, a towering figure named Kael'thar, slammed a clawed hand on the holographic table. "Report," he barked. "Our sensors are useless," one officer said. "The humans' planet, it resists our technology. Every probe is destroyed before it reaches orbit." Kael'thar's mandibles clicked with frustration. "We've faced many species. We've conquered all. Why is this one different?" A quieter voice spoke from the shadows. "Because, my lord, they do not fear death. They embrace it, and now they embrace power beyond our comprehension." Kael'thar growled. "Then we must adapt. Deploy the hunter fleets. Fire everything. Leave nothing." Back on Earth, Marcus and his team reached the top of a ruined skyscraper. Below them, the streets were filled with civilians who had survived the bombardment, many now glowing faintly, learning to control sparks of energy that danced from their hands. Marcus clenched his fist. He could feel the pulse of every human around him. Every fear, every hope, every memory, it all flowed into the field. It was alive. It was aware. It was hungry for survival. Alara touched his shoulder. "It's not just power," she said softly. "It's awareness. The field is teaching us everything. Physics, biology, even perception. We're not just stronger, we're faster, smarter. Almost like the planet itself is guiding us." A warning siren cut through the smoke. Overhead, the first wave of Valkyrie hunters descended, sleek and black, dripping with alien weapons. They were fast, faster than any human vehicle, faster than anything humanity had ever built. But Marcus smiled. He raised his hand and the air above the city shimmered. The alien ship slowed as if moving through water. Sparks of energy formed like chains around them. One by one, the vessels collapsed inward, imploding from a force they could not calculate. The civilians below screamed, not in terror, but in exhilaration. Their fear had become energy. Energy had become force, and the world had become their weapon. Kael'thar watched in disbelief from orbit. Impossible. Their bodies. Their minds. "They are one with the field." One officer dared to speak. "High Lord, perhaps we underestimated them. Perhaps humanity is evolving." Kael'thar's eyes glowed red. "Evolution is dangerous, but it can be contained. Prepare the Dominion's greatest weapon. Burn the planet to ash if necessary. We will not lose to a species so primitive." Back on Earth, night fell, but it was no ordinary night. The field continued to hum, a low vibration that resonated in bones and minds in the heart of every human. People began to levitate, to move faster than thought, to manipulate energy with gestures alone. Marcus felt the pull. The power inside him was growing stronger with every heartbeat. He looked at Alara. "Are we ready?" Alara shook her head. "We can never be ready, but we can fight smarter." Suddenly, the ground beneath them shook. From the ruins, massive shapes emerged. Machines humans had scavenged and rebuilt, powered not by fuel but by the field itself. Towering exosuits glowing with energy moved like living creatures. Humanity was building its army while the aliens assumed they were weak. A Valkyrie hunter screamed overhead, firing beams that cut through steel like it was paper. The exosuits responded, absorbing the energy and redirecting it in pulsing waves that sent the alien ship tumbling into the Seine. Children, teenagers, scientists, and soldiers fought together, unified by the field. They didn't wait for orders. They acted with instinct and precision beyond anything Marcus had ever imagined. Alara's headset crackled. "Marcus, it's not just us. The field is spreading. People in Africa, Asia, the Americas, they're all waking up. All over the planet, humans are starting to realize their potential." Marcus nodded. "Then we fight not just to survive. We fight to remind the galaxy why humanity should never be conquered." Far in deep space, other alien races watched the Dominion fleet falter. Rumors of Earth's new power spread like wildfire. Some whispered of fear, some of hope, and others of curiosity. Humanity was no longer just another species. It was a force the universe had never seen before. Back on Earth, Marcus raised his fist toward the sky. Blue sparks arced across his skin, reaching out like tendrils toward every human on the planet. The air vibrated with energy, and the ground trembled. The Valkyrie fleet began a final assault, their massive dreadnoughts aiming to obliterate every city. But the humans didn't flinch. For the first time in history, the invaders were afraid. And somewhere in the ruins of what had once been a broken world, humanity smiled. Because they had learned a simple truth. No one could break a species that refused to be broken. The war for Earth had just begun. The sky over Earth had turned dark, but it was no longer a sky of fear. It was alive with blue sparks, shimmering shields, and pulses of energy that flowed like rivers across the planet. Humanity had risen. Marcus Hale stood on the edge of a cliff overlooking the ruins of what had once been New York City. From there, he could see the glowing pulse of the field stretching over the continents, a force that connected every human alive. The aliens might have thought they were attacking individuals, cities, or weapons, but they were fighting one living planet. Ilara Quinn floated beside him, her eyes glowing with a soft blue light. "Marcus, the field is evolving faster than we predicted. Every human it touches becomes something more, faster, stronger, smarter." Marcus clenched his fists. "Then we don't wait. We take the fight to them." Far above, the Valkyrie Dominion's fleet had regrouped, their massive dreadnoughts glinting in the orbiting light. Commander Kelthar's claws tapped against the command chair, his mandibles clicking with frustration. "How can this be?" he growled. "They are nothing. Flesh and water. They should be easy to crush." One officer spoke cautiously. "High Lord, they are no longer ordinary humans. Our sensors cannot track them. The field, it gives them abilities beyond calculation." Kelthar roared in anger. "Then we adapt. Build weapons that can disrupt the field. Do not underestimate them again." But Marcus was already moving. Humanity's first fleet of modified ships powered by the field rose from hidden spaceports across the globe. Sleek, angular vessels unlike anything Earth had ever built, they glimmered with blue energy. Pilots gripped controls, but their hands barely moved. Their thoughts, their instincts, and the field itself guided the ships. On board one of the command vessels, Marcus felt the pulse of every human pilot, every engineer, every soldier. He could sense their fear, but also their courage. The field was a network of will, and it was responding to his command. "Engage the jump," Marcus said, and the fleet vanished from Earth's orbit, leaving the Valkyrie fleet unprepared. In deep space, the first human ships appeared, moving faster than the Valkyrie sensors could detect. The Dominion fleet panicked as human vessels struck dreadnoughts with beams of concentrated field energy. tearing metal and armor apart before alien weapons could fire. Kael'thar's voice echoed across the bridge. They are attacking. Impossible. A second officer spoke, trembling. High Lord, they are evolving in space. They are learning faster than we can respond. Marcus's fleet struck again and again, moving in ways no alien mind had predicted. Entire squadrons of the Dominion were destroyed in minutes, their screams echoing through comms the humans had captured. On board the flagship, Marcus could feel it, the field pulsing stronger, feeding on every act of courage, every human heartbeat. It was alive, almost sentient, and it wanted to survive. Alara's voice came through his comm. Marcus, the field is teaching them. Our attacks, their attacks, it's all feedback. Humans are learning faster than the aliens can adapt. A Valkyrie dreadnought fired its massive weapons at the human fleet, but the blast simply bent around the ships, drawn into the field and returned in unpredictable ways. One beam reflected and tore a hole in the flagship's hull, and the aliens screamed in shock. Marcus smiled, feeling the surge of power. They wanted to conquer us. They thought we were weak. They were wrong. Across the battlefield, human pilots moved in unison without words. The field connected them, gave them instinctive coordination, and amplified their will. Every move was precise. Every strike was deadly. Every human was more than human. But the Valkyrie were cunning. Kael'thar activated a device hidden in the depths of his flagship, a weapon designed to disrupt the field itself. A pulse spread through space, causing human ships to falter, their energy shields flickering. For the first time, the humans hesitated. Marcus's fists glowed brighter, and he felt the surge of the field fight back. Ilara, now. Ilara typed furiously into the control panel. The field reacted, channeling energy through the fleet, repairing damaged ships and amplifying their attacks. The Dominion's weapon overloaded and exploded, sending shockwaves that obliterated the nearby dreadnoughts. Kael'thar roared in rage. This is impossible. They are adapting faster than we can destroy them. On board Marcus's flagship, he felt it, the consciousness of humanity flowing through the field. It was more than instinct. It was strategy. Every human knew what to do without thinking. Every attack, every defense was coordinated perfectly. In the middle of the battle, a human pilot, a teenager no older than 16, saw a Valkyrie ship heading toward a colony on Mars. Without hesitation, she took control of the field in her sector, bending energy to her will. The ship disintegrated before it could fire, saving billions of lives. Marcus watched, amazed. Humanity wasn't just fighting. They were becoming guardians of their world and others. Kael'thar realized the truth too late. They are no longer mere creatures of flesh. They are a single force united by the planet. The Dominion fleet began to retreat, shattered and broken. Humans pursued, but Marcus ordered them to hold. We don't kill blindly. We show them we are powerful, but we are not monsters. The field pulsed, spreading beyond Earth, Mars, and the Moon. Every corner of the solar system shimmered with blue light. Humanity had taken the first step beyond its homeworld. Marcus looked at Alara. This is just the beginning. They will come back, and we will be ready. Alara nodded, eyes glowing. The galaxy has no idea what is coming, and in the shadows of deep space, other alien races watched the battle. They had heard the legends of the Valkyrie Dominion's invincibility, but now those legends were shattered. Humanity was rising. For the first time in billions of years, a species had awakened a force that no empire could ignore, and they were just getting started. The stars were no longer empty. They shimmered with energy, rippling with the pulse of a force the galaxy had never seen. Humanity had left its homeworld, and every human who traveled among the planets carried the field within them. Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of the flagship Aurora's Edge, looking at the war-torn remnants of the Valkyrie fleet. Each dreadnought burned, torn apart by the combined force of human ingenuity and the field's power. This is only the beginning, Marcus said, his voice steady. We push forward. We take the fight to their worlds. Alara Quinn tapped the console, her fingers glowing faintly. Marcus, the field. It's responding to us more strongly than ever. It's like it knows where we need to strike before we even think about it. Across the galaxy, the Valkyrie Dominion scrambled. Kael'thar had regrouped on a hidden system far from Earth. His fleet was larger now, but the morale was low. Every victory had come at the cost of hundreds of ships and countless soldiers. The Dominion had never faced an enemy like this. "They are not like anything we have destroyed," a commander said, trembling. "Their bodies, their minds. It is as if the planet itself fights for them." Kael'thar's eyes glowed red. "Then we make them regret leaving their world. Prepare the superweapon. This time, we will erase their fleet before they reach our home systems." Meanwhile, humanity's fleet traveled at impossible speeds, guided by the field. Each human vessel seemed alive, adjusting, dodging, and attacking with instinctive precision. It was as if every pilot, every engineer, and every soldier was connected through one immense shared consciousness. On board Aurora's Edge, Marcus could feel the thoughts of every human in the fleet. Fear, hope, determination, it all flowed through him. He could see distant alien fleets before sensors could even detect them. He could predict attacks, anticipate movement, and coordinate strikes across light years. Alara's voice cut through the bridge speakers. "Marcus, something's different. The field. It's teaching them faster than we ever imagined. The humans on the front lines. They are evolving even mid-battle." A warning flashed across the main screen. Valkyrie dreadnoughts were approaching the first human colony on Europa. Without hesitation, Marcus extended his consciousness through the field. He felt every human there, linked by the same pulse of energy. "Divert reinforcements," he said, and instantly, ships from 3 different sectors accelerated, forming a protective barrier around the colony. Human soldiers on the ground levitated, shields glowing, and children ran alongside them, sparks trailing from their fingertips. Every survivor was part of the defense, every mind contributing to the strategy. The Valkyrie opened fire, their plasma beams tearing through space, but the field bent them like light through water. Dreadnought after dreadnought fell, imploding under forces their engineers could not calculate. Kael'thar watched from his command throne, fury and disbelief burning in his eyes. "Impossible. How can flesh and water do this?" A younger officer dared to speak. "High Lord, they are one with the field. It is guiding them, teaching them, evolving them." Kael'thar slammed his clawed hand on the table. "Then we destroy the field itself. Activate the null array. Erase them from the galaxy." Back on the Aurora's Edge, the human fleet felt the incoming wave. The null array sent pulses of dark energy, attempting to sever the humans from the field. Ships shook violently and pilots struggled to maintain control. But humanity fought back, not just with ships but with the field itself. Marcus extended his awareness, pulling together the energy of every human-made weapon, and even the planet's influence. The null array overloaded, its pulses turning inward, destroying parts of the Valkyrie fleet instead. Alara's eyes widened. "Marcus, it's like the field can see into the enemy's systems, redirecting attacks automatically." Marcus clenched his fist. "Then we finish this." The Aurora's Edge surged forward, leading the fleet into the heart of the Valkyrie armada. Human ships weaved between enemy fire, striking with impossible precision. Soldiers on distant planets moved in unison, their collective will shaping the battlefield like clay. In the middle of the chaos, a Valkyrie dreadnought tried to retreat, but a single human pilot, barely 16 years old, reached out through the field. With a thought, she tore the ship apart from within, metal and energy folding like paper. Kael'thar's mandibles clicked in frustration. "They are unstoppable." Marcus felt the field surge even higher. "We are not just fighting, Alara. We are showing the galaxy what it means to be human." Across the battlefield, alien races who had only heard whispers of Earth's power now witnessed it firsthand. Ships once feared across countless systems were disintegrated by humans who had never built weapons like this. Humanity had become something no empire could ignore, a living force of intelligence, courage, and power, and somewhere deep in space, a quiet voice among the humans whispered, almost in awe, "We were never meant to be conquered, and now we will never be stopped." Kael'thar retreated, the remnants of his fleet scattered across the void. The humans had won the battle, but the war for the galaxy was only beginning. Marcus looked at the stars. Blue light rippled across every human vessel, every planet they touched, every human they guided. The field had grown, stronger and wiser, and humanity was no longer confined to a single world. Alara smiled, exhausted but exhilarated. "We're not just fighting for Earth anymore. We're fighting for the entire galaxy. And I think we're ready, Marcus nodded. Then we take the next step. The Valkyrie will never underestimate us again. And the galaxy, vast and silent for so long, had begun to tremble at the name of humanity. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Human fleets moved through the stars like living rivers of blue light, carrying the field's pulse to every world they passed. Planets once conquered by the Valkyrie were awakening. Humanity did not just arrive, they liberated. Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of Aurora's edge, watching the liberation of the Taolin system unfold. The Valkyrie fleet had tried to suppress the planet, but humans connected through the field had already coordinated defenses, repaired cities, and restored hope in a matter of hours. Ilara Quinn tapped the console, a faint blue glow tracing her fingertips. Marcus, the field is teaching them faster than ever. The people on Taolin, most of them were terrified last week, but now, they're fighting alongside us. A young human pilot, barely 16, dodged an incoming Valkyrie cruiser, using the field to bend energy around her ship. She didn't think, she just acted, guided by instinct and the pulse of humanity itself. The cruiser exploded midair, debris scattering across the void like fireworks. Good work, Marcus said quietly. We fight together. We win together. Meanwhile, in a distant sector, the Valkyrie High Council convened in panic. Kylthar's claws slammed against the table as holograms of destroyed fleets filled the room. They are everywhere, an officer shouted. Every world we conquered is rebelling. Their fleets are growing stronger, faster than we can respond, Kylthar growled, red light burning in his eyes. Then we escalate. Activate the Dominion's wrath. No human world survives unless it kneels. But the humans had grown beyond fear. Every battle, every victory, every loss fed the field, making it stronger. Soldiers, pilots, engineers, every human touched by the field became more than they were. Strength, speed, awareness, and courage surged through their veins. Marcus raised his hand, feeling the pulse of every human in the Taolin system. We move forward, he said. We free them all. The human fleet struck with precision unlike anything the galaxy had witnessed. Dreadnoughts fell before alien weapons could fire. Planets once occupied by Valkyrie soldiers erupted in revolt as humans shared energy, strength, and strategy with the local populations. On Taolin, Marcus watched civilians and soldiers alike rise up, guided by the field. A teacher lifted a collapsed building to save trapped students. Children ran alongside humans in armor, sparks trailing from their fingertips. Every act of courage fueled the field, feeding it, making it stronger. Ilara looked over her console, her eyes wide. Marcus, the field isn't just teaching humans. It's teaching entire civilizations how to fight, how to survive, how to join us. Marcus smiled, feeling the pulse grow stronger. Then we don't just fight for Earth. We fight for every world they've tried to enslave. In deep space, Valkyrie dreadnoughts fired upon human fleets, but their weapons bent, twisted, and returned, redirected by the field itself. Entire squadrons fell apart midair. The Dominion's most advanced ships were destroyed in minutes, their commanders screaming in disbelief. Kylthar's rage was unmatched. Impossible. They are just humans, flesh and water. How can they evolve like this? One officer dared to speak. High Lord, it is not evolution alone. It is unity. Every human acts as one through the field. Their will is stronger than our weapons. Kylthar slammed his clawed fist against the table. Then we break them. Send the null obliterator. Erase them all. But the field responded. Marcus reached out through the pulse, channeling the energy of every human, every freed planet, every living being the field touched. The null obliterator fired and immediately disintegrated, energy reflecting back to destroy a Valkyrie command cruiser. Ilara whispered, awed, it's learning, adapting, defending itself. Marcus grinned. It's not just defending. It's teaching us how to fight smarter, faster, stronger. Across the liberated systems, humans began building new fleets, new defenses, and new alliances. Alien races who had suffered under Valkyrie oppression joined, lending their knowledge and skills to humanity. The field integrated them, amplifying their abilities. Together they became unstoppable. Marcus looked at Ilara. We have to push deeper into Valkyrie territory. We can't just fight defensively. The galaxy is ours to protect now. Ilara nodded, her hands glowing. Every step we take, the field grows. Every world we liberate, the humans become stronger. We're not just fighting, we're awakening the galaxy. The human fleets moved toward the Valkyrie capital, a massive world fortified by energy shields and orbital defenses, but the field pulsed across light years, giving humans knowledge of every trap, every weapon, every strategy. It was as if the galaxy itself guided them, shaping the battle before it even began. Marcus raised his fist, sparks of energy tracing his veins. We are more than humans now. We are the pulse of every world we save, every life we protect. Let's show them what it means to underestimate us. And in the void of space beyond the shattered remnants of conquered planets, Valkyrie commanders whispered in fear. Humanity was no longer just a species. It was a force, living, intelligent, united, and unstoppable. The war for the galaxy was far from over. But one truth had become clear. No empire could survive the awakening of humanity. The Valkyrie capital world hung in space like a dark jewel, its energy shields glowing with cold, harsh light. Millions of alien troops lined its surface, and the flagship Eclipse of Dominion orbited above, its weapons bristling with destruction. Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of Aurora's edge, looking at the enemy. The field pulsed stronger than ever, flowing through every human fleet, every liberated planet, and every ally that had joined them. Humanity was no longer alone. It was a living, united force. Ilara Quinn's fingers glowed as she typed commands, the field bending to her will. Marcus, the Valkyrie have prepared a weapon unlike anything we've seen. They call it the Oblivion Core. It can erase entire star systems. Marcus clenched his fists, blue sparks tracing his veins. Then we don't wait. We hit first. Every human alive is ready. Let's show them what it means to challenge humanity. The fleet surged forward. Ships moved faster than the Valkyrie sensors could detect, guided by the field. Soldiers on the surfaces of allied planets leapt into action, their bodies glowing with energy as they defended colonies and bases, while Marcus felt the pulse of every human heartbeat in the galaxy. Kelthar roared from the command throne aboard the Eclipse of Dominion. Destroy them. Every ship. Every world. Let no human survive. But the humans had evolved. Every attack from the Valkyrie was anticipated. Every strategy countered. Every weapon turned back upon its master. Ships disintegrated in mid-air. Entire fleets imploded. And the field itself seemed to strike with intention. Marcus raised his hand. Sparks arced across the bridge, reaching through the field to touch every human across light years. We fight together, he whispered. We are the pulse of every world we save, and now, we are unstoppable. On the capital planet, human soldiers emerged from hidden bases fighting alongside liberated alien races. Children lifted debris to save the wounded. Scientists and engineers modified captured Valkyrie weapons in real time, channeling field energy through them. Every act of courage amplified the pulse, feeding Marcus and the fleet with unstoppable force. Ilara's voice trembled, filled with awe. Marcus, the field. It's merging with the planet itself. And with us. We're not just humans anymore. We're the heart of the galaxy. The Oblivion Core activated. A beam of darkness extended from the Valkyrie planet, aimed to annihilate the entire human fleet. Light bent and twisted around the beam as the field reacted. Marcus felt the energy in his veins surge, connecting him to every human, every liberated world, every life the Valkyrie had tried to destroy. With a thought, Marcus reached out through the field. Sparks of pure energy flew from Aurora's edge into the core, splitting it apart from within. The beam reversed, striking the Valkyrie flagship and tearing it apart in a burst of blinding light. Kelthar screamed, mandibles snapping. Impossible. Flesh and water cannot defeat our ultimate weapon. But the humans were no longer just flesh and water. They were a living network of strength, courage, and intelligence. Every soldier, every civilian, every child connected through the field became part of the attack. Entire planets joined the pulse, and every Valkyrie dreadnought was obliterated in minutes. Marcus felt the surge of power like never before. The field guided him, guided humanity, and even reached into the hearts of the surviving Valkyrie. He did not seek to destroy blindly. He sought to end their empire, to show mercy where it mattered, and to remind the galaxy why humanity could never be conquered. Kelthar's fleet was broken. His planet was in flames and his armies scattered. The few remaining ships tried to flee, but the field reached them, guiding human forces to intercept. Marcus lowered his hand, sparks fading. The pulse of humanity settled across the galaxy like a heartbeat. Humanity had not just survived, they had triumphed. Ilara looked at him, exhausted and glowing. We did it. Marcus, we actually did it. Marcus smiled. No, we did it. Every human, every liberated world, every life that refused to be broken. We showed the galaxy who we are. Across the liberated systems, humans and allied species celebrated. Cities rebuilt in hours, planets restored, and the pulse of the field spread to every corner of space. The galaxy had been forever changed. Humanity had risen from a fragile planet to a galactic force of courage, unity, and unstoppable power. And far from the remnants of Valkyrie space, other alien races whispered in awe and fear. Humanity had proven that a species united by courage, intelligence, and willpower could overcome any empire, any weapon, any odds. Marcus stood on the bridge one last time, looking at the stars. This is only the beginning, he said quietly. The galaxy will know us not as conquerors but as protectors. And no one will ever forget the rise of humanity. Ilara nodded. The field, it's still alive. It will keep growing. Humanity, we're ready for whatever comes next. The stars seemed to shimmer in response, alive with the pulse of humanity. The galaxy had witnessed the awakening of a species unlike any other. The Valkyrie dominion was broken. The galaxy was free. And humanity had just begun. The universe would never be the same again.